Happy Friday. You can hear the sounds of the jungle as the world's waking up. Got the horses down here keeping the lawn mowed, and the donkey was down here somewhere. And I have left lesson number 973 from the jungle. Is to invest in your batteries. The reason why I bring this up is because last night it stormed pretty hard, and then the town down here, which I'll show you. Oh, a little Dominican coffee, honey and cinnamon. So this town down here, right down there is the town of Montiano, and we are on their power source. And so when there's a large amount of rain in a relatively short period of time, it basically short circuits the whole electrical system here, and then that kills the power. So the temperature here is really comfortable right now. I mean, I think it's mid 70s, so it's nice. But we still have fans going inside our house, and the fans are kind of covering up the jungle noises because you can hear, and you hear how much noise there is here. And I don't know about you, but anytime in the nighttime, like there's a sound change, I'll wake up. So last night I woke up to just like pouring down rain as then the power went out. And do we have a significant solar system here? Yeah. And when we put that solar system in, we ended up getting the batteries that were the cheaper option. Why? Well, because we had limited money. We spent all our money to buy this property, everything that we had, retirement accounts, everything. And so we were on a budget, and that budget was minimal. And everything in this country is done with cash. So there's only so much cash you can bring into the country at a time in order to then convert it over to Dominican pesos, and so it's a whole nother level of game to play for those that feel like they have to juggle finances every month. You're not alone. But it's another level here, and so we ended up putting in these lead acid batteries, which then, when we installed the solar system, the people that we got it for, these would be good for 3 to 5 years, easy, solid, and they'll slowly diminish as the years go on, but they'll be good for a bit. And so 3 years up, and now they're pretty much obsolete. And now we have purchased the heavier duty batteries, the lithium ion batteries. So now, which is another whole thing. Because where we are in Montiano, there's not much business infrastructure here. So getting something like a lithium-ion battery has to go to Santo Domingo, which is a 7 to 8 hour drive away. And there it is. I was looking for my coffee. And so our friend Ruby, who does work for us, he's an electrician. It's like, I'll get these batteries. So it takes the 8 hour trip to go to Santo Domingo, and then gets the batteries, and then comes back, and then we had to ship them because they're humongous, and now it's and then they're so heavy. They have me plus 3 other guys carrying these humongous batteries in here, and then it's another part of a process of making sure those are now secure, because anything of high value is worthy of protecting. And I will offer this challenge to you. So many people that I have helped regain their health, they value that so much more once they have lost it. Like once someone has hit their breaking point, and they either physical breaking point or mental breaking point or emotional breaking point, they are able to regain their health. Oh my gosh, they will protect it like nobody's business after that, and they will invest endlessly in their health. because once you know what the consequence is from losing it, then you will not risk losing it. And this is one of the things where I've been pretty fortunate, because I broke my back in high school. I know what it's like to walk with a severe mobility issue. I had a kind of a leg drag for a bit. I went through a window at 55 miles an hour, hit my face in the ground, and had significant memory loss. And so when I run through the jungle and I do marathons and ultra marathons and challenges, it is not to show off. It is because I understand that health has to be continually invested into in order to continue to maintain it. And I can appreciate that, because I know what it's like to not have the ability to function and move as a child, as a teenager when it happened. So the jungle lesson here is now, and I'll update this as Ruby's coming out today to install the big batteries. But everything's great until it's not great, and this grid power that we have is great when it's on, but all of a sudden when it's not, it doesn't work anymore. It's in the middle of the night, and it's quite unfortunate. And again, it's comfortable now, but when it's 100 degrees outside and then the fans die, that's less less pleasant. It's at least when I woke up this morning, it's comfortable. I can then enjoy my time here. But when it's 100 degrees, it is quite the different story. And so the investment of the big batteries is one of those things where it's a significant investment, and it hurts to do it. It's taking and leveraging and moving money around in order to then do this thing. But truth is, it's an investment that then pays dividends, because then this property can function better. We have groups coming out that are already scheduled for this year, and I want them to have the most positive healing experience possible. And when power goes out in the middle of the night, it's not a big deal, but it does take away from it. And I couldn't help but reflect on this idea of spending versus investing this morning, because again, the reason why we bought this property was because I had worked myself to the point of physical, mental breakdown, and my blood pressure was out of control, and I was so desperate to regain my health that when we pulled up right here, and then I got out of the car and I hear what you hear, which is the birds and all the noises, and the waterfall was going, and I could take a breath. I was like, oh my gosh. I didn't realize that I had been just absolutely suffocating for years in our life back in Washington. And no doubt, I'm not alone in this. As more people talk about it, and more as people become actively seeking help, that kind of everybody has been stuck in this state of anxiety and chronic inflammation and exhaustion, and guarded and putting on a happy face, because you don't want to be the person that's complaining to other people. And in essence, our bodies have a limited amount of energy, and so once that energy's up, then our body doesn't function how it's supposed to, and then things are not pleasant for somewhere to hear when the power goes out and the batteries are empty. It is not pleasant compared to what it was before, and so then basically now we're left with a couple options. Option number one is to continue to accept that's what it is, right? And it's like, well, I guess we just live in a place where the power goes out at night. Yeah, or option number two is invest in batteries in order to then power everything. And so if you find yourself in a position where you are like, hey, I'm exhausted, my battery's empty, and you're ready to invest in recharging your batteries or upgrading your batteries, then go on to my Facebook page, scroll down, and then look at the Facebook Lives that I recorded and made available for the Total Nervous System reset workshops, and then start to understand the neurology behind your brain-body communication, and then your battery system, your electrical system, that is your nervous system, and how to recharge those batteries and even upgrade those batteries. And now, look at this. I don't know if you can hear this. It's 7:10, and just like worship music is just blasting. There's some random church down in the village, and they just every morning just blast worship music. And if, on another note, if you want to learn more about our journey of getting this little paradise and place of research and healing, go to drugfreehappykids.org, and then you can check out my first book, Fog to Fire, which is in essence 360 something pages of in-depth neurology to understand the nervous system, understand why so many people are burning out, why so many people have brain fog, which is just really like exhausted energy systems. And then what we've learned through this process over the last 3 years, and why write multiple books. One of my classmates, a little bit bitter. You notice like some people they get a little negative, and I don't even know why, but you notice this. It's like they just can never be positive. They just always like have something complaining to say. One of my classmates is like, when I published my second book, he's like, "Oh, this is how you're gonna make your $1 million now." I'm like, it's not about you don't make money off of books. What what the goal is, and everything we do is not to make money. The goal is to give people hope. And why? Because I know what it feels like. I've had multiple chapters in my life where I've had zero hope. And I know once a person has hope, they can take the next step. And so that's everything that we do, and everything we put out there is just to give people hope. Because if you are alive, it's because God made you for a purpose, and that you matter. That's it. You matter. And it seems like a lot of people are stuck in this darkness where they don't understand that. I mean, I broke my back in high school, and I remember, I went to my medical doctor, and I laid in bed night after night, unable to sleep, and because of pain and my racing thoughts, and my medical doctors, they had the tools they had, but which aren't tools of healing. They're tools of coping, and the pain pills, muscle relaxers, and I remember just laying there and thinking, if this is the way the rest of life is going to be, is that life even worth living? Really, the answer is no. It's just existing. That's not living. And then someone sent me to a chiropractor, which I didn't believe in, and I knew that everyone knows that they're not real doctors, and yet somehow, after one visit, I felt way worse afterwards, and then the next day I felt a little better, could move a little bit better. And then once I could move a little bit better, I all of a sudden had hope. And then I followed that witch doctor's, not real doctor's advice to the letter. I mean, she told me to do something, I did it. Told me to take supplements, I lose connection. Unless the cell phone signal holds on. I think I did. I think the cell phone's on, but we are dark again. And then the second time, I mean, really like significant hopelessness was, again, after living through the pandemic and taking care of patients without masks, and being threatened by the government and the Department of Health with jail time and fines for doing so. It's kind of a crazy thing to think about, right? Thinking about like the health officials said to the world, you have to do these things. You have to use this fabric on your face, or vaccines, or you're going to die and everyone's going to die around you. And this is just what the experts say. And then the person that showed that actually wasn't true then got threatened with jail time and fines and had better health stats than every other facility that I'm aware of. And it's like such a crazy thing. Our governing officials, rather than saying, well, what if this person did? That worked. Like, we can optimize health. We've learned how to optimize health now. Maybe we should share this with more people instead. They're threatened, fined, deplatformed, blocked. It's crazy. It's just a crazy thing. And put me to the point where, again, I was hopeless because I was the healthiest person I knew, and I'd survived all the pandemic stuff without any issues with COVID, but my blood pressure was out of control, and I could feel my blood vessels, my eyeballs rupturing. It feels like your eyeballs itching, and then I was slowly going blind. And I just assumed, I guess I'm just going to stroke out because although I know a lot of people rely on medication as their tool, for me, I feel called to understand health, and it's my job, and my job is to find better tools, natural tools that are centered in my value system. And so it's, people said, oh, well, you could have just taken blood pressure medication. Yeah, I could have, but then I wouldn't know what I know now, which is how to totally reset the nervous system in order to balance out blood pressure normally. I wouldn't have known that. But I wouldn't have also made the decision to walk away from everything and invest our life savings in this place if I didn't get to that place where I was hopeless, desperately seeking an answer and the next step. So that's why we do this. That's why we do everything we do. That's why I've written multiple books, host workshops, do the intensive weeks here. Because every person that has hope, again, is a person that then can get better. And it goes in a natural progression of goals. At first, it's simply a movement goal. I just would like to be able to move more, whatever that means to each person. I just want to play with my kids. I just want to play with my grandkids. I just want to be able to walk a mile. I just want to be able to go on hikes, whatever it is. It usually is a movement goal. And then once movement becomes possible again, and then our batteries start to get recharged, because movement is what recharges our electrical system, aka our power plant in our brain. And then the second goal is connection and having genuine connections. And this is summed up in multiple ways, but each person and each person's value system is different. But for simplicity's sake, it is a connection goal between other people, right? I don't want to just exist with the people in my life. I want to have a genuine, authentic relationship where it is my crew, it is my team, my spouse and I are on the same page. We are connected. We're not just existing. My kids and I are connected. We're not just existing. I'm there for them, and they are there for me. My friends are connected, and not just existing. And with that, it seems to go hand in hand with this connection to this higher power, this spiritual. Oh, power's back on. Look at this. It's exciting when your battery is completely empty and you're dependent on outside sources, but it's not super sustainable. And having a connection to some higher purpose. Again, when someone's broken down, all they care about is moving. Once they can move, then they care about serving some kind of greater purpose. And God, I hate to use, the thing is, I consider myself a follower of Jesus and try to hold that standard as far as what I'm supposed to strive to replicate. And sometimes that turns people off because all the Christians, they ruined it because they are believing so intensely and then trying to convert that it's kind of almost missing the point. And I had one girl where I was leading the total nervous system reset, which again in one 2-hour workshop I can show people how to completely reconnect their brain back to their body and then relax their body, actually rev down. And And I learned this through my story. And so I referenced this example of Christ through it. And she said, if you use the name Jesus at all in your workshop, I do not want to go. I was like, but I mean, it's part of my story and I don't want to go. And I mean, that's how like oppositionally negative some people are. So when I say connect to a higher purpose, whatever that means to you, the byproduct, and my observation is when people are connected to the higher powers, they naturally represent, they embody what Christ was. So it's like, whether they say that's what it is or not, that's what you see. And we all know these people. It's like, you are just walking salt, right? It's good people that do good, serve, are healing to be around. And then so movement goal, and then connection goal with other people to a higher power. And then number 3 is to create, and to create something. And this is now upgrading the battery centers. This is getting going from a lead acid to a lithium battery. Because once you have hit the movement goal, and you are no longer limited by that in your life, and then you have now healthy connections. And by the way, with the connections too, again, you ever notice this is like when you have somebody in your life that you are not connected with, like how draining that person is, and like how much that takes. It literally is like probably the most important hurdle that a lot of people struggle with, is they stay connected to relationships that are like my friend, that's a chiropractor online. And his first thing is this how you're going to make your $1 million? Like, no, I already made my $1 million. And I did it by helping a ton of people and giving away a ton of money and building parks and stuff. In fact, when I went to go buy this place, like I didn't even know I had $1 million at that point. I had all these multiple bank accounts set up, and I was so involved in all my service and my team, and I was paying my team well, and I was providing this environment and this culture, and it was super fun, and I didn't do it for the money. And then when it came down to it, it's like, oh shoot, we actually have the ability to do this thing. And so people that in that negative place do not desire a real connection. Gosh, that's a hard goal to it's hard to move past that. And especially if a lot of people in life are that way around you. And then number 3 is to create. And that is where the lithium battery ion of our brain is upgraded. And I can talk on this one for hours, for dopamine production within the brain and how that's a natural clean energy source. And that is where basically cravings go away for alcohol, drugs, porn, technology, because your brain's adequately feeding itself with dopamine, and it's just clean, abundant energy. And this is the 3rd goal, where you then want to make something for other people. And again, this, if you are in America right now and you are not happy, which statistically is the majority of people, you have a lot. And you have a bank account, you have a house with equity in it, you have cars, if you have food today, if you have more than, I forget what the stats are, but it's like more than like $4 a day, you're better than 80% of the rest of the world. But there's no joy there. And it's just, people think, as we talk to people, when I run through the workshops with total nervous system reset, I'll have people lay down and palpate their body, and they're holding on to the stress. And it's like, what are you stressed out about, right? And they have a reason, right? Because the brain, the survival part of our brain, comes up with a story of, oh, I'm stressed because I got this bill due. I'm stressed because I want to get this promotion. I'm stressed because I got these things going on. But it's simply what the brain story that it makes up to explain that you're just simply stuck in survival mode. And so as soon as you reset the nervous system, they immediately relax. And all of a sudden that stress that they thought was the reason why they're tight and guarded is gone. It was just a story. And so this is where, again, the higher level connectivity and health and battery systems comes in place, because you'll naturally want to create things for other people. And think of your kids. What do you do? Everything for your kids. That's in essence, when you are trying to create something for your kids, you're actually just doing it for yourself, because they are a little replica of us, so we are connected to them. But then as your body gets healthier and stronger, more neurologically balanced, then you want to create for more people and create and help other people. Hence the books and the crazy jungle healing and training center and all the things. And then that, you want to talk about being tapped into unlimited energy. That's upgrading your battery system. So power's back on. It is 7:30 here, about 4 hours ahead of Washington time. So I better go get my wife some coffee, huh?